The following video is based on the personal account of a real victim of the Cambodia scam. Warning: this video contains graphic content of physical abuse which might be disturbing to some viewers. The Cambodia scam is a term used to describe the human trafficking and online fraud operations that are run by criminal syndicates in Cambodia, especially in the port city of Sihanoukville. Thousands of workers from various Asian countries, such as Taiwan, Vietnam, Indonesia, Malaysia, Hong Kong, and Singapore, have been lured by ads promising easy work and extravagant perks, only to be held captive and forced to work in online scam centers known as fraud factories. Now let us follow through the entire process of this scam based on the actual account of a scam victim who managed to escape. In April 2022, a man named Bils, who is from Malaysia, was recruited for a job based in Cambodia. Bils first found this job advertisement on a legitimate job-seeking website and was interviewed by local Malaysians in his own country. The job offers a monthly salary ranging from $1,100 to $2,200. Bils learned that this job involves developing new businesses for the company through project collaboration with the Cambodian government. In return, this role offers 5 meals a day, lodging in a luxury apartment, privileged access to a bar, entertainment, and a gym, all provided for free. The company even covers the cost of round-trip air tickets. On May 6, 2022, Bils arrived in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, and was picked up by a driver who was supposed to take him to the company. Halfway through the journey, the driver claimed that he was out of gas and stopped at a gas station. As soon as the driver stepped out of the vehicle, 3 unknown men took over the car and drove off. Bils only realized he was being held hostage when the men told him to remain quiet when asked about what was happening. The 4-hour ride took Bils to the coastal city of Sihanoukville. Upon reaching the compound, there were checkpoints with security guards dressed in black and armed with sticks, weapons, and even guns. The uphill drive took about 20 minutes, and the vehicle reached the Victory Paradise Resort. Upon arriving, Bils underwent a thorough search and received a briefing about the strict rules in place. He was accommodated in a hostel and not allowed to leave his dorm block at night, supposedly due to safety concerns outside. His assigned tasks turned out to be entirely different from what was discussed in his job interview. In a word, it was a scam. He received 2 days of training in transferring scammed money from a local bank to overseas, conducting love and job scams, becoming familiar with cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, and using their gambling website. His salary also turned out to be much lower, supposedly because he was still under probation and the company needed to evaluate his key performance indicators, KPIs. He was tasked with driving customers online to their fake gambling website, using provided scripts as a guide. However, he could not tolerate this so-called work, as he found it morally unacceptable. The management gently warned him to go along with it, as Bils owed the company for his airfare, lodging, and other living expenses. Victims who disobeyed instructions or tried to flee were physically tortured, including being subjected to tasering. Bils was given a name list of potential scam victims to contact with. There were full names, identification numbers, employment data, and even salary information. When Bils asked where all these came from, he was told brusquely that he didn't need to know. Bils held different personas based on the different targets. His persona was a young girl when he was tasked to target retirees, because they definitely have savings in the bank. One of the targets was an elderly man who was a Malaysian widower. Every morning, Bils would show concern for him and ask him what he ate. Bils would then send him videos of things he was cooking, like fish head soup. Furthermore, Bils also sent him voice messages voiced by a female. Whenever this elderly man asked for video calls, bills would come up with excuses to avoid making any. All this was done by the IT department, which would send him these things whenever he needed them. Bill's job was basically typing out stuff and forwarding things. Eventually, when it was time to close the deal of scamming $3,200 from the elderly man, Bills couldn't do it. So every time Bill's supervisor asked him about the progress of this deal, Bills played dumb as he didn't want to cause a family to fall apart. Eventually, after 3 weeks of ordeal in Cambodia, Bills miraculously managed to escape and return to Malaysia on May 28, 2022. The details of Bill's escape are being kept secret to safeguard the identities of those who assisted him. Bills was one of the luckiest victims who was able to made out alive. The UN Human Rights Office estimates that are still hundreds of thousands of people held in situations where they are forced to carry out online scams. It was reported that, driven by foreign pressure, Cambodian authorities raided scam compounds and freeing more than 1,000 of enslaved workers. Other than advertising work locations in Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, and Thailand, it is alleged that the Syndicate has also changed their job advertisement work locations to countries beyond the region, such as Japan and Singapore. Many inexperienced young adults were lured by such irresistible offers. The Syndicate convinced people that they could receive a free air ticket and accommodation to go there and have a look. If they didn't like the working environment, they would receive a free ticket to come back. At the end of the day, there is no free lunch.